The chief medical director of U of L Pediatrics says only a small minority of child abuse cases ever get charged or prosecuted in many Kentucky counties. Tonight, we explore one example in depth.
I got a phone call from Raleigh's babysitter saying that she woke up from her nap and her head was swollen.
Christy Becker says she had no reason to ever suspect abuse at the sitter's house.
Just went bad really fast.
The registered nurse knew something was very wrong at the hospital before these injuries got worse.
And I noticed behind her ear there was classic, what they call battle signs, which is bruising behind the ear, which is an indication of head trauma.
The pediatric forensics report signed by the director of U of L Pediatrics and a certified child abuse pediatrician called it a well-recognized form of injury and child maltreatment and concluded the timing of the injury was more likely to have occurred while Rowley was at the babysitter's home. They also found a healing forearm fracture that raises our concern for her safety, and it was their firm recommendation that the parents of the other children are notified of potential risk for other children.
She said blunt force trauma to the side of the head with either a back of a fist or she had gotten thrown up against something very hard, slinging her by her hair that could have separated her scalp from her skull.
The Child Protective Services investigation of what it called an illegal daycare concluded child physical abuse and neglect substantiated against Raleigh's caretakers. But the Beckers then learned that while a child abuse case may be documented and substantiated, it might not get prosecuted. The Jefferson County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office refused to pursue the case. The prosecutor who made that decision refused to tell me why.
And we've just been told, well, sorry, we can't prove it, so. And then there she is trying to get her daycare going.
That's right. The adults here are appealing the abuse substantiation, still watching children. I repeatedly tried to talk to them, but they refused to answer the door.
You don't need to talk to her anyway.
What do you mean?
What do you mean what I mean? Who are you?
I'm John Bull with Wave 3.
Yeah, what about it?
A man at the residence who identifies himself as a relative says he was here that morning.
I guarantee you, nothing ever happened here.
Okay.
You know, that kid probably came here like that. And it could have been, you know, one of the little boys might be over here. I don't know.
I was just very alarmed that a 2-year-old could be assaulted, beaten that badly, and have those head injuries and black eyes and broken arm, and no one prosecute that.
Ed Vaughn is a former state child abuse investigator.
I think it's more evidence that you typically have.
He helped prepare abuse cases for prosecution and examined the findings in this case.
I find that to be very alarming. That, imagine you and I, there's a 2-year-old in this room and we can beat the tar out of that child and neither one of us can be prosecuted for it. I can't imagine that being possible.
What we've learned is, just you can abuse a child as long as they can't say it was you, and you can get away with it. And that's wrong.
I'm a shake.
How often does something like this happen?
Why don't you let me clean up?
Becker asked the doctor testifying in her case.
She said, I see hundreds of cases like this a year, but this is only the second time I've been to court this year. And I said, what? She said, these cases never get prosecuted.
I requested any information the Jefferson County Commonwealth's Attorney's Office could give me on how many child abuse cases they pursue each year versus how many they don't try to prosecute. I was told they don't track those numbers. John Bull, Wave 3 News.